Hey guys, welcome back. This is Mike Hansel in Small Arms Pistol Academy, and today I want to talk about your self-defense or carry concealed cartridges. I have one brand out here. This is a Winchester Silvertip 115 grain projectile, and do I recommend it? So at the end of the day, when you think of what ammo you're going to carry on your person, I think it's really important to look at the overall ballistics and figure out if it's something you should be carrying. So what I have here is a Shadow Systems MR920. This firearm is what I've been carrying on my person, so I ran this ammo, the Winchester Silvertip, through it, and I had zero issues. Now, because I've had zero issues as far as cycling goes, so no failures to feed, no failures to eject, it's something that I would say is reliable. Now, is the actual projectile something I would recommend? Well, when you look at the ballistics of this particular cartridge, number one is the penetration is not nearly as deep as a lot of other cartridges that are designed. One reason being is this is only 115 grain projectile versus 124 or 147, so it doesn't have the same amount of energy. It's not going to have the same felt recoil of some of those other cartridges, and because of that, it's something that I do like. And as far as being reliable, it cycled through the firearm really well. So again, I have to stand behind it. Now, why would I recommend this? Number one is because its penetration is not nearly as deep as some of the other cartridges that are designed. Overall, as a civilian, you are held accountable for every projectile out of your firearm. So when you really think about that and what that means for you is if you were to shoot a round and you hit your threat, but it pierced all the way through and then took out a child behind them, well, you are held accountable for that. Even if you are, in court, something happens and they say, nope, you're justified and we're not going to charge you for that other person that you injured or anything, cool. But you're probably going to have these nightmares about this situation, and you're going to think, is there something else I could have done? And overall, that might end up eating you up. Now, this particular cartridge, because its projectile is 115 grains, because it doesn't have the penetration of other rounds that are out there, more than likely it's going to stop someplace inside your threat. And that's something I find kind of fascinating about this cartridge, and why I even gave it a shot. Is as far as that penetration goes, it's not nearly as deep of what some other rounds are out there. So I thought, let's try it and see if I even like it. So far, I've been decently happy with it. Whether it was shooting at gel targets out there to see how deep it would go, or if it was just shooting at paper and then shooting into paper and to see what would happen as far as opening up. Overall, it's been pretty reliable. And as far as what happens every time I hit something, each one has basically been identical, which is kind of important to me. So another reason why I recommend this ammo is I practice with 115 grain projectiles. So if that's what I'm training with all the time, and then I go to carry like a Hornady Critical Defense 147 grain projectile, all of a sudden when I go to shoot, that felt recoil for a real world situation is going to be entirely different than what all of my training's been. Because Winchester has a 115 grain projectile self-defense cartridge, it's going to be the same felt recoil of what all those training rounds have been. And to me, that's really important, is you want your real world stuff to be the same thing that you've been training, so you're not trying to learn something new or how to control your gun during that high stress situation. It's going to pair over really well. So that's my biggest thing with this ammo of why I would recommend it. As far as your firearm goes, the biggest thing is this ammo does cost more than what your training ammo is going to be. So I don't recommend just buying this and shooting 50 rounds at a gun range, but you should buy this and you should run it through your gun and ensure that you're not going to have any issues with it. So maybe put 5 in a magazine, shoot them and see if there's any issues. And if it works, cool. Now, if you can afford to buy more of it and run maybe 50 through there, definitely you're going to get a lot more data out of 50 rounds than you would out of 5. But ultimately, when you go to purchase this, you're going to get like 20 rounds in a box. And right now, those 20 rounds might cost you about 36 bucks. So there's no reason to just, go broke trying to shoot this stuff. Buy it, cycle it. If it works, awesome. Maybe carry it. Depending on your state laws, this is a hollow point. So you may not legally be allowed to carry this. So definitely look into your state laws and see if it's something you could even carry. if you're a bigger fan of a different brand like Federal or Hornady, don't even bother with this. Stick with the brands you are familiar with or that you do trust and utilize it. Again, I'm not saying this is the best cartridge that's designed especially for a 9mm. There's a lot of better brands or different cartridges that you could purchase that would have way better ballistics. But for my mentality, as far as not having the over penetration and as far as having good reliability, this hasn't failed yet, and I am a fan of it. So that's why I recommend it. I hope that type of content is what you guys are kind of interested in. If it's not, or even if it is, that's awesome. Leave comments down below. That way I know what type of videos to make for you guys so we can actually start creating some of those things. Whatever it is, if you guys want to learn how to draw, you want to learn something different, just leave it down below. I'll eventually get around to it this summer. So I appreciate it, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching.